keys and phone glitch. Have you ever left home, locked the door, taken a few steps, and then suddenly been startled and panicked? Wait, did I lock the door? You're frantically looking for your phone, rummaging through your purse, checking every nook and cranny. And then you discover it's right in your hand. Ha ha ha. If this scene looks suspiciously familiar, then you're right. You've just experienced an extremely common everyday glitch. Psychologists call this prospective memory failure. Our brains are designed to prioritize big things, deadlines, plans, relationships, and small, repetitive tasks like locking doors or holding a phone are put on autopilot. In this case, the body did it, but the consciousness didn't have time to log it, so you don't remember anything at all. In other words, your brain is like a browser with too many tabs open. The important tabs are hogging all the RAM, while the tiny tab named Key quietly crashes. This used to be how the brain saved energy, but now it just makes you more confused. The good news is, you're not absent-minded at all. Just a simple save button. Look straight at the keys or phone and say loudly, "I've got them." That's it. The file won't disappear anymore. Outfit fail glitch. Have you ever experienced a day like that? You walk into the office, sit in the meeting, and feel like a true professional. Then you walk past the mirror and bam, realize the shirt you're wearing is inside out and the tag is sticking out. You exclaim, "Oh my God, how long have I been like this?" And sometimes you're in such a hurry that you put on 2 different shoes by mistake. And it wasn't until the entire office bowed down and burst into laughter that you realized it. Honestly, you looked like a comedian performing at the 2025 fashion show. Psychologists call this an attention lapse. Your brain at that moment chooses sides. When there's too much vying for attention, deadlines breathing down your neck, messages constantly popping up, colleagues bombarding you with questions, your brain will prioritize processing life or death tasks first, while small details like wearing your shirt the right way or putting on matching shoes get tossed aside. In reality, your brain is like a personal assistant, but an extremely careless one. It might worry about getting the report in on time, but it forgets the simplest thing: getting you out of the house without turning into a fashion disaster. The good news is that this glitch isn't serious at all. Just give yourself 5 seconds to pause in front of the mirror for a quick check, and you'll have reset your brain's temporary memory and avoided being trolled all day. Wrong way. Glitch. On a weekend morning, you intended to stop by the supermarket to buy groceries, but when you looked up, you were standing right at the company gate. Or worse, you get on the bus, sit down comfortably, and then realize, this isn't the route you need to take. Congratulations, you've just experienced an incredibly common everyday glitch. Your brain automatically took over as if you were a character in autorun mode. Scientists call this the habit override phenomenon. When you do something repeatedly too many times, your brain activates the default mode network, a default mode that causes your body to act automatically out of habit, regardless of what your conscious mind is trying to do. In other words, you want to go to the market, but your brain says, "Nope, go to work today." In reality, your body at this moment is no different from being programmed with an automatic script. Turn right, turn left, check in at the company. It's convenient, but also quite a troll. The good news is, this glitch proves your brain is extremely good at optimizing energy. Just by reminding yourself clearly before you set off, you can override autopilot and avoid those silly wrong turns. Mishearing glitch. The situation that happened was truly embarrassing. Someone asks you, "Have you eaten rice yet?" But your ears filter it as, "Have you eaten ice cream yet?" And so you happily replied, "Yeah, going for ice cream sounds good," only to see the bewildered looks of the entire table. For a moment, you're no longer yourself, but a free comedy version for the audience around you. Neuroscientists call this a perception glitch. When your brain doesn't hear everything fully, it automatically makes up the missing parts. In other words, the brain is like an autofill font. It fills in the blanks based on experience, habits, or expectations. But unfortunately, what the brain thinks you hear doesn't always match reality. Actually, the brain at this moment is no different from the autocorrect feature on a phone. Sometimes it corrects correctly, but often it corrects so badly that it makes you look ridiculous. The good news is, this glitch isn't dangerous at all. It just proves that your brain is working too fast and too confidently. Next time you mishear, instead of feeling embarrassed, just think of it as having given the conversation a free humorous twist. Finding glasses glitch. Have you ever been in this awkward situation? Tearing the whole house apart, lifting pillows, flipping blankets, searching every nook and cranny just to find your glasses, sitting right on your face. When you looked in the mirror and discovered it, you felt both embarrassed and wanted to disappear into the ground. Congratulations. You've just experienced an everyday glitch that has made millions of others laugh until they cry. Psychologists call this retrieval failure, meaning your brain activates search mode, but the actual data isn't updated. Once the brain believes that the glasses are not on the face, it will ignore the obvious evidence right in front of it. To put it simply, the brain at this moment is like Google search with an indexing error. What you need is right at your fingertips, but the results returned are not found. And you're running around like a heavily lagging NPC, getting more confused the more you search. The good news is that this glitch doesn't mean you're absent-minded. In reality, it only proves your brain is too good at automating habits, to the point of missing even the most obvious details. Next time, before you rummage through every nook and cranny, try touching your head first. You might just save yourself half an hour. Tongue twist glitch. Have you ever experienced this situation? You're having a very serious conversation in a meeting or in front of a class, and suddenly your mouth betrays you. Instead of saying a smooth sentence, you accidentally blurt out a completely meaningless word, or worse, stumble into a phrase that sounds extremely awkward. And so, the entire serious room suddenly transformed into a free comedy stage. Psychologists call this phenomenon a slip of the tongue. That is, when the brain chooses the wrong word from your internal dictionary. Reason: the brain processes a multitude of signals simultaneously, and sometimes two words compete for position in your head, resulting in you blurting out an unexpected error combo. Imagine your brain like the autocorrect feature in Word. Most of the time, it's very helpful in correcting mistakes, but sometimes it turns a normal sentence into an irredeemable mess. The good news is that this glitch doesn't prove you're less intelligent. In reality, it shows that your brain processes language extremely quickly. It's just that sometimes the speed gets out of control. Next time you stumble over your words, just laugh along with it, because at least you just gave the whole room a free moment of entertainment. Autopilot walk glitch. Have you ever experienced this? Walking down a familiar street, your mind elsewhere, and suddenly realizing you've walked a long distance without remembering the steps you just took? For a few seconds you wonder, wait, who's driving this body? Congratulations, you've just experienced an everyday glitch, walking in a daze. Scientists call this the default mode network takeover, meaning the brain switches to default daydreaming mode. Your AFK consciousness wandered off somewhere while your body continued to run in the background, automatically performing familiar actions as if a clone version were in control. Imagine you are a character in an online game. The body is running on auto mode, while you, the player, have alt-tabbed out to watch TikTok, only occasionally returning to check if the character is still alive. The good news is that this glitch is not dangerous at all. In fact, it shows your brain is extremely good at conserving energy. But next time, if you suddenly realize you've walked a long way without remembering anything, don't panic. Consider it a free fast travel experience in real life. Wrong name glitch. Have you ever been in this mortifying situation? You're being sweet with your current partner, and suddenly you accidentally call out the name of your ex? For a moment, the romantic atmosphere suddenly froze, and the other person's eyes looked at you as if you had just activated relationship self-destruct mode. If you're lucky, you'll only be teased for the whole week. If you're unlucky, I wish you luck in escaping the barrage of questions called, "Who is he?" or "Who is she?" Psychologists call this the phenomenon of a slip of the tongue or an action error. When two commands in the brain conflict, the brain sometimes chooses the wrong path, and as a result, you accidentally read the name aloud incorrectly. This doesn't prove you're still hung up on your ex. It simply means your brain groups emotional data files into the same folder. Imagine your brain is like Google autocomplete. Most of the time, it suggests the right things, but sometimes it throws out a completely wrong keyword, making you fail right in front of the person you love. The good news is that this glitch is nothing to worry about. It just proves your brain processes information so quickly that sometimes it throws out the wrong results. Next time, if you accidentally call the wrong name, stay calm and blame it on a system bug who hasn't been trolled by Google at some point, right? Everyday glitches remind us we're all just a little bit buggy. So, which glitch happens to you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you laughed, learned, or felt seen, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more fun stories every week.